All these ideas of formulating societies and structures of living, for me, they're still running before we walk. We still need to know the fundamentals, where we actually are, your position within this place, whatever it may be, right? Because for me, I need that before I start enveloping myself with ideas and concepts of a life. I need the fundamental, the foundation. It's no use now for me to try and just go, oh well, I'm going to throw myself in and embrace a life of a family, and this is who I am, this is my place within my society, my culture, these are my aspirations, these are my goals, these are my woes. The only woes I have right fucking now is there's cunts obfuscating the actual reality of where we are. If you're first time coming across this, the globular earth concept is absolutely preposterous. It is an absurdity. It's a psychological construct to keep you in bewilderment, to keep you static. Every facet of the infrastructure, the society, the civilization that you're a part of is there to keep you going in circles chasing your tail. You have no grounds of an understanding of the objective nature of our existence. How it came to be, why we're here, how we came to be here. You have man's stories trying to pass it off as scientific. Science is something that belongs to you as an individual. Science is something that deals with practicality. Demonstration. Science is not about producing narratives of our existence, giving you a meaning to your life. That's religious, spiritual practices based on metaphysical concepts and ideas. They're substitutes. They're not an actual knowing. So, identifying that the root cause of the bewildered state of humans is that they think they are somewhere that they're not. And we have to get that knowledge back. If you want to perpetuate life, bringing other beings to this place, whatever it may be, then you have a duty or responsibility. Why would you want to bring them into a state of bewilderment, fucking confusion, offering them up idiotic ideas and notions that they take on board and then aspire to achieve? The mind's a powerful thing. It is a very powerful tool, and it can be a destructive tool if you don't understand it. So for me, we have to get to an understanding of the mind. What influences it? Right at the core of it is you as the observer. You are the one responsible. You attach yourself to whatever concept or idea or stimulus that's coming on board. You then have a responsibility and a duty to be able to filter that and understand what it is you're partaking in. People talk about consciousness. Right now the majority of people that I see are anything but conscious. Ideas, systems of control, values, ethics, loads of stuff that you're not filtering, that you don't fully understand, and you have no idea of what you're contributing to.
So there you go. You're the retarded offspring of 5 monkeys having butt sex with a fish squirrel. Congratulations.
I can't take it anymore.
If you do not have these tools, you will never be liberated. You will always be at the mercy of others because you have no idea what the fuck is going on. So why then would you think that something like the liberal arts was removed from the mainstream education, from the public domain? These things should be pushed and offered to you continually. If we're talking about governments and systems of living and being, you should be asking the questions, why is this system not providing the tools that I require in order to be a self-sustained, steady, strong individual. The systems that the majority are living by now are the total opposite: subservience, ignorance, apathy, weakness. Why? Again, for me, the whole thing stems from making sure that you and I do not snap out of this delusional nonsense that you're partaking in and start asking the fundamental fucking questions. Where the fuck are we? Why are you saying we cannot go there? What is it you're hiding from us? What fucking right do you have to try and take us from our true history, the true chronology of our being, what we're a part of? I'm not talking about overthrown by violence or any of these means. I'm talking about you as an individual refusing to consent and partake in any of the drivel. Understand the language that's being used against you. Once you start to implement that, you can break apart bullshit. You start to see things like the globular earth, heliocentric cosmology, existential narrative for what it actually is. Hogwash, fairy tales, nonsense. Psychological tool to shackle you to the perimeters of where you think you are. Hogwash, fairy tales, nonsense. It's fantasy, religious jargon. Psychological tool to shackle you to the perimeters where you think you are. We'll start from the very beginning. Stuff comes from nothing. Is it? How did you come to that reason? Where could we witness a demonstration of something appearing from fucking nowhere with information, not only information, complex information that has to be sequenced properly, or the results would be catastrophic. Right, before we go any further, let's get to the beginning. It's fantasy, religious jargon. Psychological tool to shackle to the perimeters where you think you are. It is a science, I mean, they're sneaky bastards. It's a science of fucking bullshittery. It's not a science of reason, logic, practicality, demonstration. It's fantasy, religious jargon.
Truman! No! That's off limits! What's on there? Nothing. It's dangerous, that's all. You've got to know your limitations, Truman.
It's fantasy, religious jargon.
Truman grew up, we were forced to manufacture ways to keep him on the island.
I'd like to be an explorer, like the great Magellan.
Oh, well, you're too late. There's really nothing left to explore.
Finally, I came up with the concept of curse.
Truman's been terrified of the water ever since.
Psychological tool to shackle to the perimeters where you think you are. The claim of our culture, our society, is that we have groups of men and women and institutions professing that they have a God's eye view of our earth and that they're portraying it to be a spherical object. We were born into that. I am under no obligation to replace that faulty, obviously faulty claim with a model or a conception of our full reality. That requires an exploration. That requires the majority of human beings addressing and turning every stone of assumption that they've held to be true in regards to what they think this reality actually is. So I do not offer up a replacement for your cartoon that is the globe. I can make a statement from my own direct experience of reality, my understanding of the physical nature of substances. I can understand it from the practical applications and the geometry that we assume that the earth is demonstrably a level plane. There are undulations, high points and low points. These are determined from a level. Now, a level does not mean a reworking and a mathematical definition. A level is a level, means from one point to the other there is no deviation in elevation. That's what a level line means. That's what we use in engineering, construction, all practical applications. The only place that the other definition exists is in the conceptual, abstract notion of the globular earth, where they have to redefine natural axiomatic truths like level. So I can make that statement that the earth is demonstrably level.
And anybody who wants me to remove my common senses, my direct experience of my everyday reality, and ignore that for an absurd notion, better have something fantastic to offer me.
Now that fantastic thing is not an image. What has happened is that people have been presented with a concept that has been backed by an image, and a language has then ensued to try and describe and explain away natural phenomena in order to make it fit a conceptual image. That's not how it should work. What individuals should be basing things on is their direct experience of what they can quantify, test, measure, observe for themselves. No with a preconceived bias of an imprinted image that you're then going to set out to try and make everything that you find fit your image. That's exactly what the globe does. It's not a quantifiable three-dimensional object, it is a concept. It exists only on paper as an abstract theory. Not a tangible three-dimensional thing. Regardless of what you think that image is showing you, I give no credence to images on my TV screen whatsoever, particularly when that image is depicting my reality contrary to what I experience from day to day. I am not going to ignore my God-given senses, if you like to call it that, whatever that may mean. Know that I'm a religious man, it's just a turn of phrase for people to understand what I'm talking about. My constitution, if you like, I am not going to throw that out the window because a group of men and women can show me artistry through a TV screen. A branch of physics, if you can even call it physics, it was more like metaphysics, has been created by use of language in order to support a total absurdity. It's happened through generations, through incremental steps, and people now think they've got an understanding of this abstract notion that they live on a nature-defying oblate spheroid. I don't need your language, I don't need your images on a screen. As a human being, you require no language in order for me to understand some physical aspect of my objective reality. All that it takes is for you to be able to demonstrate things to me in a practical fashion. If you cannot demonstrate what it is you're trying to claim to me in a practical fashion, I have to take you as either confused or deliberately trying to deceive me. So, we stand in the field. As far as I'm concerned, the globe is utter garbage. It's the psychological foundation of all human beings. Human beings are jumping about the branches of the trees, without ever discovering the trunk and the roots of what they're actually jumping on. That's what we need to get back to. Human beings are running before they can walk. You do not know where you are. You do not know what you are a part of here. These questions are unanswered.
Therefore, anything that you're calling a life, anything that you're investing yourself in, regardless of how good it makes you feel,
is purely delusional. You are substituting actual knowing of your direct reality and a further deeper understanding of what you're a part of. You're substituting that for concepts and ideas. Reality is the thrill. Exploration of your immediate reality is the real thrill. No chasing an idea of stature, hierarchy, your job, your hobby. What is this you're a part of? If you don't have those questions answered, what are you up to? You're a hypnotised monkey, is what you're up to. And just because it's familiar and you think you've got a grasp on it, doesn't mean to say that it is any grounds in real objective truth in regards to the bigger picture of what you are involved in here. So human beings are born into this hypnotic cult that's teaching you that they've got all the answers figured out. And what I can see is that the whole shebang is there to stifle you from the religious ideologies to the same ideologies that they present as science. Are there to stifle your creativity. They're there to stifle your explorative nature, your inquiring nature. These things are keeping you still, internally, externally, physically, metaphysically. They're constraining your natural flow. So it's about time people let it go and start admitting to themselves a bit of intellectual honesty of how little they actually know or what they're a part of. Be a skeptic. Don't just take it on hearsay because it's presented to you as science. Science says I'm a hairless monkey on a wee potato rock spinning about a vacuum. Therefore science says so, so that's what I believe. That makes you an absolute fucking idiot. Snap out of it. There's a reason why there's so much fucking dysfunction around you. You better start tracing that to the very fundamentals of all reasoning processes and realise that there's a void there because you don't have a fucking clue where you are and what you're a part of. You're jumping on the bandwagon, clutching at straws, desperately trying to attain certainty that you're never going to find because you're chasing an idea. So, if you want to discuss with me the nature of our reality and what it actually is, fair enough. I have expressed numerous times what it takes to convince a man of myself, or what it will take for me to accept something as being part of my objective reality. I accept nothing else.
I don't want religious rhetoric and mantras and buzzwords and expressions of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Everything else I'm willing to discuss. I'm no big in politics. I've overview these things as a total fucking nonsense. Mental illness. One aspect trying to control and dominate another aspect. Another huge problem that human beings need to face up to. An understanding and a separation of your own subjective experience and what is objectively true. What we see in the world is groups of subjectivity trying to dominate and control other groups of subjectivity and turning the whole thing into a big massive shite show. Who has the right to be behaving like that? Maybe everybody has the right. Does that make it correct? Does that make it beneficial to us? Not fucking well does not. Look at the state of the shithole. Oh, I should dance to it. I've got wee gadgets and I can phone my pal and Timbuktu and all that. Well fucking done. How does your mind work? I don't know, what's on the telly? Ah fuck it, I'm going to the cinema. This is the complex machinery. This is the technology that you better get to grips with.
Because you're using it naively.
And through your naivety, your attention and your will was being directed and coerced onto utter fucking crap to the detriment of yourself, your immediate family and the majority around you. It's only benefiting a few. So fucking snap out of you. Quick style. Let's enjoy and embrace the real endeavours of creativity and expression and exploration, and start finding out what the fuck this place actually is. Because I tell you what, again, it's not what's being portrayed to you. You're seeing cartoons, you're seeing images on a screen. That's deliberate, to throw you off the scent, to make you think it's all been discovered and there's nothing else, therefore I'll just clutch at my ideas and my concepts that make my fuses good, and I'll die. Irresponsible. Get a grip. This machine that you are occupying, if you like, is an intricate piece of technology. So you better understand how to recognise yourself within it and understand the processes of the machine. Because if you don't, your will, your intent is going to be directed onto utter nonsense. Well, actual reality slips by. So it all comes into your attention. Whatever you place your attention in, whatever you buy into, you will be subject to your own creation. And I mean that internally. I don't mean new age spiritual bollocks about you making reality change and all that kind of stuff. You can make your reality change internally, and physically, by interacting with the physical world, you can make change in it. But you have to understand what you're emotionally investing in, what you're putting your intent into, your goals, your aspirations. What are they about? And the only power that I have is to direct attention. I can go on autopilot and the attention will just be pulled left, right and centre by the flood of thoughts that are coming through the processing unit. Or I can say, hold on a minute, fuck that autopilot shit. I'm going to direct my attention to where I will it to be. As I've spoken about this before, there are so many variants of biological life, particularly in humans, the different races, the distinct different races of people. You know, the bullshit that they try and hit us with about common ancestors and all that garbage. All that information had to be present from the very off. So we're all descendants from some mightily complex, more advanced being than ourselves. That's pretty much what they're saying. That has to be the case. You're not getting new variations of information that are randomly appearing from fucking nowhere through mutations. Mutations don't add new information. So, I've postulated that a few times. Is it a case of some petri dish experimentation type thing? Or was there a necessity for us to end up like this, where different aspects of biological life ended up in the one pond or the one place or area? Through whatever means, and that was never the natural flow of how it was. It's all opened, it's all for speculation, but that's all it can be. You know, these people that are making affirmative claims to know what's actually going on are lunatics, as far as I'm concerned. Again, people have to think about that. What if there's other advanced areas? Would you really want us retarded fucktards get in and poisoning that with our narcissistic fucking selfish tendencies? No, who would you fuck? Because any advanced civilization would have moved beyond this, you know, need to dominate and control and subdue other aspects of biological life. I certainly wouldn't want that infecting my advanced, superior civilization. So it's another possibility. There is no dichotomy. These people who are trying to perpetuate dichotomies of the dimensions of our Earth, there only is one objective reality as far as I can fucking make out. So what is there to be debating? Again, when you're seeing people requiring and utilising problematic and sophisticated, idiotic language and building upon that, language upon language upon language, to try and confirm a wee biased notion that they're clinging desperately to. You know that there's an issue. Something's real, fucking show me it. Bring it to me. Demonstrate it. I'm a clever man. I have a very practical mind. Regardless of what your expertise is, if there's some mechanical function to it, there must be a mechanical function to it. I will understand it. As soon as you start fucking trying to waffle complex, sophisticated language at me, I know you're an absolute cockend. Right up your own ass. You need to wind your neck in and snap out of your little fucking delusion. So I don't give a fuck if you're PhD Superman. Right? And that goes for everybody else. You have the exact same attitude. You have your own discernment. You are the scientist. You have the mind and the ability to understand practicality. Everybody has it. What's getting in the way? People have bought into this pseudo-intellectualism and sophisticated of language and shits and ties and mannerisms and all that, so they must be intelligent. Fuck off! There is a use for understanding these morons and their sophistication, because you can combat them with their own use of the spoken word by understanding the mechanisms that they utilise and what they're actually meaning. But that doesn't mean to say you're an intellectual either. It just means that you're coming down a level in order to understand these fucking morons, these fucking absolute desperate idiots that think they're something, but they're turning the whole place into a shite show. Their fucking explanations of magical forces and energy transfers and all this fucking garbage. Stuff without geometric shape and form to it. Just utter nonsense. Wee tiny space balls, big massive space balls, and voids and empty spaces in between and all that. And in the void and empty space between there's magical, mystical stuffs. Black holes and counter space and all that fucking crap. Dark matter, dark energy. Sounds like a fucking Hollywood movie script, if you ask me. Again, I always have hope that, I see different pockets of people having realisations about how fucking ignorant and stupid they've been, and allowing this fucking idiotic thing that we call civilised fucking living come to fruition, because it's anything but civilised. If you're an ignorant person, then it doesn't matter to you. That's why I done the whole, let's play a game.
Let's play a game.
I want to play a game.
Imagine you're blindfolded and taken somewhere and you don't know what's going on, and you're thrown into some area and unmasked. The first thing that you're going to ask yourself is, where the fuck am I here? And in that situation you're meeting other people who are within the same area that you find yourself in, who have been there for longer than you, who have formulated stories and narratives of where they think they are and why they're there and what it means to be there and all that stuff. And you know fine well the very first question that you ask yourself is, where am I here? Because it means nothing that all these people that have been here are telling me these stories and their elaborate fucking schemes and narratives and blah blah blah. It means diddly squat if you never actually established where you were. So again, imagine the scenario. Imagine there is other areas. Imagine there is other land. Imagine there's other ponds, other pods. And then again, imagine there's no. Imagine we're in some isolated, contained vessel of some kind. Then new questions are born. New adventures take hold. Again, back to this is a technology. Who runs the technology? Is there maintenance of the technology? Are there janitors? Is there a manager? These are questions that are valid. Again, I don't know the wider spectrum of what is actually going on here. What's involved? Who's involved? Whose technology is this? Talking about the world. Life and all that stuff, it's a technology. Make no fucking bones about it. Whose technology? I do not know.
One thing's for sure, it's going to be pushed and used for some agenda.
Sanki her şey kayboldu, çok derin hislerim Omzum yükle doldu ama bende vazgeçmek yoktu. Bitmedi, bitmedi, bitirmedim. Ben özel değilim ya da öyle bir şey ama sen varken hep böyle hissettim, böyle hissettim. Yanan her şey görünmüyor olmalı, bunu sen de hatırlarsın da artık böyle hissettim.
Again, I employ a Socratic, what's been termed as a Socratic method of reasoning, which is basically asking questions without making any assertions or claims. And I encourage everybody else to adopt that. Right? So this notion of burden of proof. When you were a child, you were born into this situation. You may have adopted certain fallacies, beliefs, fallacious beliefs about life, where you think you are, who you think you are, yada yada yada. Right? And that's because you were an innocent and you looked to your peers. The minute that you become reasoning on your own, it becomes your responsibility. It's up to you now to question all claims and all assumptions, predominantly and first and foremost your own. And if you have the determination and if you have intellectual honesty and integrity within you, then you will arrive at the same position that I'm in. The burden of proof lies with any affirmative claim, regardless of whether you adopted that claim and represented that claim for a period of your life. The burden lies on those making the claim, particularly when those claims are contrary to your common sensibilities, to your direct experience. These are outlandish, extraordinary claims which should require extraordinary proof for you to accept that it's real.
What counts is not what sounds plausible, not what we'd like to believe, not what one or two witnesses claim, but only what is supported by hard evidence, rigorously and skeptically examined. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. The world is round. So I am now going to make a wild, way out, extraordinary claim. The world is round.
I do not give a fuck about this consensus bollocks. Well, the scientific consensus says it's a globe, so the burden of proof is on you. That's akin to saying, well, when you were 5, the consensus amongst 5-year-olds was that Santa Claus was real. So therefore, the burden of proof is on you to disprove Santa Claus's existence. That's how fucking absolutely absurd these dipshits are. As I said before, you do not and never will experience the globe Earth. Everything in your experienced lived life and your direct common sense tells you that you are not on a whirly-twirly fantasy space rock. You've never seen it, you've never experienced it, no aspect of it have you ever practically experienced in any way, shape or form. Ever. And you never will. The reason being is because it does not fucking exist. It's a conceptual idea based in mathematical language, not in the objective real world, in the imaginations of fucking corrupt, lunatic men and women. Look at the existential stories that exist out there right now. The overriding majority of them place you in a position of servitude, of powerlessness, the whim of either random chance, fucking cosmology, or some deity that's got a plan for you. Now, for me, psychologically, they are disempowering ideologies. For me, we would need something that empowered people, that gave people a warmer sense of being, a warmer sense of purpose. If we were to agree that it was a good idea to continue on. But again, I'm talking from a position here of things that we just don't know. What this place actually is. We don't have an overriding sense of who we are or what our purpose might be. There is the problem. When you're basing your life on an idea or a concept, it's not rooted in an objective truth. It's a delusional substitute that's only going to lead to disaster, more confusion, more anxiety, more stress. These people are talking within the spider's web. They're not getting to the root where the spider's web is rooted to, where the spider is. They're talking about aspects within it, creations, ideological creations, concepts that we've already come up with, which are flawed from the off, and then you've got people who are going round in circles trying to write it or make it better. And it's never going to be the case unless we actually have the objective truth of where we are, what we're a part of here. And as I say, if we discover and it comes to light that we're in a finite enclosed type system, then we can come up with something a lot fucking better than the shite that we've got right now. It's not that difficult. And again, if that was to be the case, finite enclosed system with no real true knowledge of what we are, how we came to be, or its purpose, then I would have serious reservations about perpetuating this any longer. Because I just don't see it getting any better. What I'm seeing in regards to, individuals within the populace is that they don't even have the basics of being able to discern and fathom out the function of their own mind. So you have to ask the question, do you believe that life's supposed to be this confusing and this mysterious? Filled with ideologies and concepts and never-ending rabbit holes of delusion? For me, I feel we should know what this place actually is, this area. Only from there, having that piece of knowledge, can I then start to build a picture of what I'm a part of. Without that, it's just never-ending debate and circles of delusion and battles and wars over ideas and other concepts. The other aspect of the comment that I put to the guy, Russell Brand, is that you're touching on it, you're saying we've lost an overriding idea of who we are. That's the real problem here. And then you're talking about space and asking questions about, is it really justified that these people are putting robots in Mars or talking about going to the moon? The reality is that they're no fucking gone there. That whole thing is part of the psychological pantomime to keep you, the human being, restricted, restrained, psychologically, emotionally, physically. The space narrative feeds the natural inquirer, the natural inquisitive explorer within every single individual. It subtly feeds, gives an outlet to that by thinking that establishments who are, you know, breaking the final frontier and getting out there and having that exploration. It's a narrative that subtly subdues your natural curiosity and will to explore. The story that's been told to you is that you're on something finite, with no way off of it. But there's special people and special institutions who are endeavouring to represent you and to explore the regions of the vacuum of space and the other planetoids. Why is it so difficult for these apparent intellectuals not to be able to see that? I'm not interested in discussing the Earth globe. It's not a fucking globe. There is no sane, rational person that can sit in front of me and offer out any sort of semblance of, you know, logical step-by-step reasoning that fits together solidly. It's a religious belief, and it's a detriment to every single one of us, the more that these people continue on with that willful delusion. It's never going to change. He's talking about we've lost an oversensing idea of who we are. Oh, look what mainstream science and the education system has done to people. It's even got people embracing this idea of meaningless specks of dust in the infinite void, with nice wee tunes and lovey-dovey fuses, and these morons are actually taking that on board, adopting it. Now, if the root of you, if you are rooted in that type of ideology, it's only going to breed nihilism, narcissism, sociopathy, everything that we see happening run about us. Grab what you can for yourself and fuck everybody else. The idea of truth has been infiltrated by these same people, and I don't mean government agents, I just mean people who are sold out to themselves, who are not really interested in truth. They just want a bigger piece of the pie of the game that already exists. They want the stature, they want the power. Well, millions and billions of people suffer. Their lives are filled with stress and anxiety, nightmares. Again, you just run with the programme, thinking it's life, this is what we're supposed to do. And the majority of people partake in that and never stop to ask themselves what's actually happening here. Where the fuck am I? They've never been given the opportunity to sit and contemplate that. The substitutes have been there, the programming's been there since you were a child. This is where you are. This is what the universe is. This is what life is. Now, turn along, pick one of our delusions and make the most of it. That doesn't satisfy me. But again, when I come to the common man and woman that I interact with in the street, what I'm talking about right now is still way beyond. They've not even stopped to consider, you know, the difference between subjective and objective, their emotional processes and their rational, reasoned processes. Everything's just jumbled up, and the majority of people don't even operate from logic or reason, they just operate from emotional impulse. Because the programs that have been instilled that they've taken on board don't make any sense. They've never tried to make sense of them. So everything's a predictive program within them that's triggered by any, you know, means. And when they're triggered, they're reacting emotionally. And when they're in that state, they can be swayed. So the overriding sense of who we are and our ideas have been eroded to the point of people embrace insignificance They don't recognise that it's a psychological mechanism. How are you going to build self-esteem, confidence, and to express love and compassion when your mind is filled with a total opposite of that? And it's getting worse. It's been accelerated with this whole push flats. People are now really locked in a little box, not only psychologically and emotionally, physically. They're quite willing to partake in it because they don't have the ability to formulate any other, concept or notion of who they are and what they're a part of here. So all this that's going on right now gives them a sense of certainty, a sense of being. They're a victim. And you've got to think again, the psychological and emotional implications of buying into that. And the longer it goes on, the worse it's going to get.